Alright, what's up guys? I'm Flauk and this is Battlefield 4 Jet Tips. Today I'm going to be talking about mostly stealth jets. And first I'm going to go over the loadouts, and as you can see we're in a game. This is actually live, so I'm going to explain the loadouts, and if there's still time left in the game then I'm going to jump into the game and I'll explain some of the stuff like having to do with maneuverability and just ways to play with it. So, let's go over the loadout. So first, for the primary weapon, you got all the cannons. Obviously the 30mm cannon is the best. You're just going to want to stick with the highest millimeter cannon that you have unlocked, and it does take a while. It actually took me a while to unlock the 30mm, but it's just a process, so you just got to grind through and get to it. The secondary weapons are all your missiles. You have heat seekers, passive radar, laser guided, and active radar. Now, heat seekers, passive radar, and active radar are all only air-to-air missiles, so you can only shoot at other aircraft with these. Laser guided are the opposite. They're only air-to-ground missiles, so you can't shoot at other aircraft with these. So I always stick with active radar just because I like it, because it actually does not give a lock warning when you fire them, because they lock onto their targets while they're in the air. So you fire them like a free fire, and then they get their own targets and track then. So your target doesn't really get a lock warning. Heat seekers, I would say, are the second best for air superiority. Passive radar I never really got into. It just seems kind of pointless. And laser guided would be better for something like Conquest, where you got a lot of ground targets if you can handle other planes without having to use missiles. Countermeasures, I use ECM jammer. You do have to drop ECM jammer before they fire the missiles though, because if you don't, if the missile's already tracking you and you drop it, then there's a chance it'll still hit you. It might not, but there's also a chance that it will. IR flares you want to use after they've fired, and this would be my second choice if I couldn't use ECM. Fire extinguisher I never really use, because when you get disabled in this game, that's when you want to use this. It makes you basically undisabled, but when you're disabled you're already at a very, very low health, and if you don't actually die in the same burst that disabled you, chances are it's just better for you to die and respawn anyway. So that's that. And then upgrades, you have gyro stabilizer, stealth coating, belt feeder, proximity scan. I stick with gyro stabilizer because it helps the most. What happens is if you get a mobility kill, not a disable, that's when you get hit by missiles and you kind of lose control for a few seconds. Gyro stabilizer lets you regain control faster than you would without it. Now, those few seconds that it shaves off can be the difference between life and death in a dogfight. Stealth coating makes them lock on slower. Belt feeder lets you reload faster, and proximity scan is just pointless. So I always stick with gyro stabilizer just because those seconds are very important. And of course the paint is up to you, but I love ink blotch. Ink blotch is my camo. So let's jump into the game and go over some of the flying aspects of the stealth jets. So as you can see, I am playing air superiority here. I still have the loadout I just showed you. You got active radar, 30mm cannon, gyro stabilizer, ink blotch, you know. So look in the bottom left hand corner, you got your air radar there. Now another reason I use ECM jammer is because when I drop ECM, it doesn't show it on my radar, but on everybody else's radar I disappear while I'm dropping ECM. So if you're in a tough spot in a dogfight, you can drop ECM and then get out of the direct field of view of the person chasing you. Like right now I just dropped ECM, there's people chasing me, do a couple spins so they can't actually see me with their eyes, and I lost them. Now of course my teammates helped right there in that situation, but in an actual situation it helps a lot as well. Stealth jets have afterburners, unlike the attack jets. So if you look at the actual engines on my plane right now, those are the afterburners that I'm flashing. Now afterburners are a quick way to accelerate. You can accelerate without them, but afterburners are a good way to do it quickly if you have to, say in a dogfight or a pretty desperate situation. Now those aren't that big of a difference, but one of the big maneuverability differences between the attack jets and the stealth jets is that stealth jets are much, much, much more maneuverable. You can spin a lot faster in stealth jets. That's why they're more optimal for air-to-air combat rather than air-to-ground. So that's the main maneuverability difference. There are some other small things, but that's the main one you should be concerned about. So if you're in a attack jet and there's a decent pilot in the stealth jet, you should be very, very careful when you're dogfighting, because they can spin a lot faster than you, and it makes one of the biggest differences in a dogfight. Now, of course, all the controls are the same between the stealth jets and the attack jets. If I had a choice between them, like in Conquest and Obliteration on a couple maps, you have the choice between a stealth jet or an attack jet for both teams. I always choose attack jets just because of how much more powerful they are, and I actually prefer to be more of a air-to-ground pilot rather than an air-to-air pilot. Just because air-to-air gets kind of boring, but if you like that, if you like air-to-air, then the stealth jets are the way to go for you, because they're more maneuverable and almost all of their weapons are optimized for air-to-air combat. Trying to think of some other main things about stealth jets you guys should know. The American stealth jet, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm fighting against right now, is, the one I'm dogfighting against right now is the F-35, and it's unique because when you slow down all the way in that and get close to the ground or some surface below you, then it has one rear engine. That engine rotates downward and it lets you hover, kind of like in a helicopter. And now, while that makes you very, very vulnerable, it can be good in some situations if you want to protect maybe an objective in air superiority. All right, I don't know what happened, forget it. If you want to protect an objective in air superiority, you could hover around it maybe, or if you need to protect something in another game mode, if you need to get close to the ground and you have to stay there for a little bit, you can do that, but be very careful because it is very easy to get shot by even like an RPG or something on the ground. So that's really the only unique thing about any of the stealth jets. Actually, I don't have time. Well, I think that'll do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. If you're new, subscribe. If you've been here, then leave a comment about something else you want to see in a Jet Tips. Leave a like, and thanks for watching, guys. I've been Flounk. See ya.